Hi, good morning. I'm going to try to make a couple of points. First, the waves of change of American higher education are far from over. If you think that the great colleges and universities of the past will be the only great colleges and universities in the future, then you've forgotten everything you knew about evolution and you need to sort of up your game a little bit. And second, we're going to talk about how those evolutionary forces need to come to bear to deal with something right now, and that is that our society is evolving much more rapidly than any institution of higher education. So I'm going to talk about Wave 5, launching the next wave of changes in higher education. I'm talking now about the United States. This slide is simple. Don't worry about it. You can't read it in the back of the room. It's basically the relationship between two really powerful evolutionary forces, college attainment and economic growth in the United States. The point on the upper right is where we need to be just to meet Governor Abbott's goals, 60 by 30, and the share of bachelor's degrees in Texas. We're way off the mark. The next slide shows that we've actually done a fantastic job in bachelor's degrees awarded over the last 145 years. Real GDP chases that. There's a strong correlation. These are really strongly correlated items. Now, this picture is worth taking a look at. Just look at the color shadings. These are the three sectors: public universities, private universities, and for-profit universities, enrolling at the end of 2014, 13.1 million students in institutions that give bachelor's degrees. The greener the color, the poorer the student. The redder the color, the richer the student. The rich kids are concentrated at the private universities. The poor kids are concentrated at the for-profit universities. How did they do? The redder the color, the lower the graduation rate by intensity. The greener the color, the higher the graduation rate. How are those for-profits doing? I'm not throwing them under the bus. They're just not performing. In fact, no performance. Taking a look at this chart, the imperative of innovation, why do we need new waves of change? The imperative of innovation is that's our total production, back from that chart. By the way, the upper left institution happens to be the institution I'm a part of, Arizona State University. Not dark green enough in terms of success and graduation rates, but highly, highly diverse. That's our total production, current national production. That's our production to just deal with population growth, no other things changing. You just want to graduate the same number of people that you've been graduating, which means most people don't graduate. And that's what we would need to do to meet the Texas goals alone on a national scale. That is where we are. That's where we just deal with population growth. That's basically to meet the goals of taking the population to 60% college attainment, certificate or associate's degree. This is just bachelor's degrees. So you'd say this is impossible. You'd be wrong. It's not impossible. Just got a lot of people that think things are impossible. So this is a slide just to confuse you and to introduce you to the complexities of academic thinking. This is what prevents new models. Everybody wants to mimic something that came before them, mimetic simplicity on the left. Normative cultures, that is, they've got to find a way to produce cultures and live within academic cultures. And then coercive bureaucracy, you've got to follow certain rules. Those create isomorphic replication tendencies. It means that you can't live by the same model and hope to achieve these goals. How things evolved. We had one wave of higher education in the U.S. Think of them as the colonial colleges, Harvard, Princeton, Bowdoin. A second wave, public colleges that were A-religious, Georgia, Michigan, and Virginia, 3 examples. You can see how things changed. A third wave, which were the land grants founded during the Civil War and after the Civil War, Wisconsin and Illinois, Penn State, California. A fourth wave, some of which came from the second wave and third wave, research universities, and everybody all of a sudden said, that's it, evolution is over. Literally, evolution is over. No other forms can evolve. Sorry to say, there are some trying to break out into a fifth wave. These would be institutions, including my own, where full immersion and digital immersion are possible, costs are constrained, and the scale is all scales, from individual learner to massive groups of learners, all operating in the same time. Now, how do you do that? It's really confusing. We won't walk through that, but here's how you work. You start with something that has been forgotten by the for-profits or not integrated well enough, and hopefully as they regroup after some of the things that they've been going through, they'll remember this. Knowledge must be at the core, like a black hole of unbelievable intense energy, growing, pulsing at the core of every educational enterprise, or it is something else. You build around that what we call Realm 1 learning, full immersion, on-campus technology enhanced. This is the framework for a fifth wave university in the United States. That's the library, the faculty, everything that we do, everything that goes on, the exchange, the arguments, the back and forth, the disciplines, the changes, and so forth, and most people stop there. We greatly enhance technology. We call it full immersion on-campus technology enhanced, and the ideas and the means of the university from the core of the university, which then permits us to do the second realm, digital immersion, online technology enhanced. Our Starbucks program is in this activity, 20,000 learners. We have 70,000 learners in the first one, 20,000 learners in the second one, which then empowers us to work in the third realm of a Wave 5 university. The third realm is massive scale, open scale, also digital immersion, technology enhanced, which then permits the fourth realm, which is education through exploration, where now there's no more teachers, no more professors at the front of the stage. They are engaged in the creation of learning environments that allow people to learn in scales and ways which had previously been not possible. And then obviously that can't be the end, to be determined. So a Wave 5 university, a university still evolving, will have some chance of actually attacking that. There is no chance of attacking that if you use just market forces and assume that you'll be able to derive solutions from just producing market-based institutions. You must have market-based institutions, market-driven institutions. However, they must be driven by public value attainment. They must be driven by the desire to see people to become master learners. They must be scalable. They must be innovative. They must be adaptive. They must have knowledge at the core, the production of knowledge, the synthesis of knowledge, the storage of knowledge at the core, at the core. I have 24 seconds left. They didn't think I could do it. And Candace is next.